Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the English class. How are you all doing today? So, in the previous class, we learned the poem We Go This Way But Once. So, today we'll see the exercises from that chapter. So, before moving to the exercise part, I suggest you please read the poem once again and then come back to the exercise part. So, now let's move on to the questions. The first one is reading comprehension. Section A, tick the correct option. So the first question is, this poem is about. Is it about a road trip, or travelers and their co-passengers, a foreign land, or the journey of life? So which is the correct choice? You can tick the correct choice there. So this poem is about the journey of life. Now the question number 2, the poet says we can get more out of life if we. Is it apologize to those we have ill-treated, or love our co-travelers, travel to a new place everywhere, to go back along the same road again? So the poet says we can get more out of life if we love our co-travelers. Question number 3. When the poet says we go this way but once, he means we can't is it go back on the same road again, or get back the time that has gone, or choose the same road twice, or return by the same path again. So what does the poet mean? When the poet says we go this way but once, he means we can't get back the time that has gone. Now the fourth one, the poet thinks the journey will be blossomy and sweet if we, is it stay safe and don't get hurt, help those in need, or smell the flowers on the way, or eat good food. So the poet thinks the journey will be blossomy and sweet if we help those in need. So I hope you are clear with these questions. Now let's move on to the next section. So it's fill in the blanks to complete the summary of the poem. You can see a box there with a choice of few words, and below that there is a paragraph given. And blanks are also given. You have to choose the appropriate word from the given choices to fill in the blanks and complete the summary of this poem. So you can do this as an activity now. Please pause this video, finish the activity and come back. Hope you are done with that. Now let's discuss the answers. So now let's read the summary of the poem. In this poem, the poet is talking about the journey of life and how we can make it worthwhile. In the first stanza, the poet says our life will be more meaningful if we spread happiness and lend a helping hand to everyone. In the second stanza, the poet says we live this life only once, and to get the most out of it, we should undo any wrongs and apologize to people we have ill-treated. He says all of us know the language of love, but not all of us use it. And in the third stanza, the poet says that since we live only once, we should do everything to make the journey of life as tender and sweet as we can. We should use kind and loving words and help those in need. So I hope you got all the answers correct. Now let's move on to the next section. Let's answer these questions. Question number 1, which journey do we undertake only once? What is the answer? We undertake the journey of life only once. Now, let's move on to the next question. How can we make it worthwhile? We can make the journey worthwhile by giving a helping hand to those who travel with us, by spreading cheer with kind words and a smile. So what do? We have to give a helping hand to those who travel with us, those in need, and also by spreading cheer and kind words and a smile. Now, question number 3, why can't we go back along the self-same way? We cannot go back along the self-same way because time that has gone does not return. Now, the fourth one, how can we make the road blossomy and sweet? We can make the road blossomy and sweet with helpful, kindly deeds and tender words. We should try to make the journey of life easier for others, especially those who are in need of help and are facing difficulties in life. So I hope you are clear with these answers. Now the next section is appreciating the poem, and it's about the use of alliteration in the poem. There is a small note given there. Let's read that note. Read the line from the poem. A helping hand, a word of cheer, a smile. Do you notice the letter H is repeating? Helping hand. So the sound is also repeating. Sound of H is H. The sound and the letter H is repeating there. So this is called an alliteration. This is an example of alliteration. Helping hand. The letter H and its sound is repeat. Alliteration is the repetition of the same letter or sound in a line, phrase or sentence. It helps to create a pattern of sound in a poem or story. So when you use alliteration in a poem, you can observe a pattern of sound, which makes the poem sound even more beautiful. Now, below that you can see an exercise. Underline the examples of alliteration in these lines. So you can do this as an activity now. Please pause this video. You have to underline the alliterations in each of these sentences and then come back. Hope you are done with that activity. Now let's see which are the alliterations in the given lines. The first one, lilacs grow in Lakshmi's lawn. So the letter L is repeating. The sound is repeating there in lilacs, Lakshmi's lawn. And the second one, Hanif's house has a huge veranda. So Hanif's house has huge. Letter H is repeating there. Now the third one, while walking home, Wasim decided to pick vegetables on the way. So while walking, Wasim and way. The letter W and the sound is repeating. The fourth one, Madhu made malpuas for the party. So Madhu made malpuas. M is repeating. The fifth one, greedy goats gobbled up the grass. So greedy goats gobbled grass. Letter G is repeating. So these are the alliterations that you can observe in these given lines. Now the next section is values and life skills. The section, it is about interpersonal relationships and caring for others. So what do you mean by interpersonal relationships or interpersonal skills? Interpersonal skills are the skills that we use every day to communicate and interact with others, both individually and in groups. Interpersonal skills are the skills that you use every day to communicate and interact with others. They include a wide range of skills, especially communication skills such as listening and effective speaking. To have good interpersonal skills mean you can build good relationships with everyone. Interpersonal relationships are important for your overall physical and emotional happiness. If you have strong, caring feelings for others, you are more likely to live healthy, longer, and happier. Relationships help us fight loneliness, and it also gives us a sense of purpose in life. For example, the closeness you feel with your family and friends is an important factor of your social support. So here a question is given. Form groups of 3. Read these situations and discuss how you can make the journey of life blossomy and sweet for them. Two situations are given there. The first one, Lata has moved to a new city. She has no friends in her new school. So what would you do to make Lata more comfortable? If she comes to your class, would you introduce her to your friends? Would you help her with the studies, with her homework? Would you take her out around the city? Would you ask her to come over to your house so that you can spend time together, have lots of fun, or help her with the studies? What would you do if you were in such a place? You can discuss this with your parents or friends. Now question number 2. The second situation is, Karan is flustered as he has forgotten to get his pencil box. He has a test in 10 minutes. He is very angry at himself for being forgetful. So, what would you do if you were in his class? How would you make him comfortable? Would you lend him a pencil to write the test? Would you help him search his pencil box? Would you make him feel it's okay for being forgetful at times? You can discuss this one also with your parents or friends. Now let's move on to the next section. It is the writing section and it's about acrostic poem. What do you mean by an acrostic poem? See, an acrostic poem is a poem where the first, last or other letters in a line spell out a particular word, phrase or a sentence related to that word. And the most common type of acrostic poem is one which has got the first letters of each line that spell out the word, phrase or sentence. A sample acrostic poem is given in your textbook itself. Let's read that. Together we shall one day go, round the world to places we do not know, into the wild, the sand and the snow, prancing and dancing and playing the banjo. So these lines refer to some kind of travel, right? Now look at the first letter of each line, T, R, I, P. Now the first letters of each line make up the word trip. And these lines are also referring to the theme of a travel or a trip. So such poems are called acrostic poems. Now in this exercise, you are asked to write your own acrostic poem of the word journey. So you can try writing an acrostic poem yourself. You have to write that poem in your notebook and then take a picture and send us through Teams. Now the next section is My Word Bank. Write the new words that you have learned in this poem. So in the poem, we have come across a few new words. You can write the new words and their meanings in your notebook. You have to learn how to pronounce the words, you have to learn the spelling and also learn to make a sentence each with each of the new word that you learned in this chapter, in this poem. Let's have a look at the new words we learned. Worthwhile. Worthwhile means useful or worthy. Self-same. Self-same means exactly the same. Undo. Undo means cancel or reverse the effect of something that has already happened. Blossomy. Blossomy means flowery or covered with flowers. Tender. Tender means kind and loving. Bruise. Bruise means a blue, brown or purple mark on the skin after a blow or impact, like when you hit somewhere. Stumble means to walk or go unsteadily or to hit your foot while you're walking or running. So these are the new words that we had seen in the poem. Make sure you make a note of these words in your notebook. So children, we have come to the end of this chapter. We go this way but once. I hope you enjoyed the poem and you're clear with the exercise part. So that's all for today. We'll meet in the next class. Till then, bye.